Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Jungle Island Adventures. This is Soap the Great. What are we doing today? Well, before we go into what we're doing today, I just want to show you a few things. At the last episode I started out in the Nether, and my main goal there was to set up this little Nether, or this brewing potion, and it's all this whole setup right here. We've got some potions of harming and stuff, and you see what's in my inventory right here. Lots and lots of gunpowder and various other things that you would get from mobs. That's right. In the last episode we built the mob farm and got it going. I do have a failure to report with that, however. We built this thing, and the whole intention for it was to have a general mob farm which would take care of Endermen as well, and found a good design for it, and my impression was that Endermen would only teleport within 32 blocks, period. 32 in the X, Y, or Z coordinates, and so I figured, let's just ignore that one little aspect of the design being featured on an ocean. Well, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? That piece is actually necessary. Yep, the Endermen do teleport out of the farm, and they end up going every which way, and they don't end up in the fall trap. And so what I end up with is no ender pearls. That's right, none. Absolutely none. So that farm, as much planning and time went into building it, it's one of its main purposes, will not be fulfilled. So I've got to figure out a way around that. I'm thinking of putting a glass platform all the way around the top, at least 32 blocks down from the Y, because I looked in the game code to see exactly how Endermen teleport, and they teleport. They pick a random Z and X within 32 blocks, and then they pick a random Y within 32 blocks. And then what will happen is, if that Y is not valid, it will drop till it finds a valid spawning space, or until it gets to level 0. Well, we've got that jungle island all around, and so it's finding valid spots all around, and so the Endermen aren't staying in. So no ender pearls right now. I will either have to fix the farm, or kind of jerry-rig it to deal with Endermen, or go out and hunt them the old-fashioned way, and that's primarily so we can take on the stronghold eventually. We've got to get prepped for that. But anyway, let's see what else is in my inventory. Well, I'm not too worried about that right now. Let me just show you some of the stuff that I've been doing around here. You see this minecart track, and that is because I've been playing with this zombie spawner a little bit. Right there, this is a data block value changer. And this is technically an infinite anvil until Mojang fixes the data block bug. But you just punch that button, and that is going to replenish that anvil. I can put a link in the description about that particular bug and that tutorial for that thing, but I'm not going to get into why it's doing what it's doing. I do want to show you one more thing. I've mentioned that we've had issues with baby zombies before, and you'll see right here there is a cactus, and go down here, and above that cactus is an iron bar. The baby zombies can actually drop through the iron bar, and they'll fall on that cactus, and they will just hurt themselves, and there'll be much rejoicing up here because they won't come and get me. But that's not the point here. One of the reasons I did that whole potion thing was so I could get potions of weakness, and you want potions of weakness because out of this zombie spawner we get zombie villagers. There, you hear a baby going right now. That's a beautiful sound. But you can run a minecart up here, and if you run it right in there, it will actually occasionally pick up, most of the time it'll pick up a zombie, and occasionally it's a zombie villager, and I just run them into little healing chambers here and throw the splash potion of weakness, give them a golden apple, and bada bing bada boom, we're all done. And the reason we wanted villagers, and I didn't go through the nether to find a village or anything like that, or move them through there. It was healing from the zombie spawner, and that's because we need an iron farm. I've hinted at it before, and you know, it's just one of those things. It's a very common resource. It's used in a lot of recipes, and so it would be helpful if instead of having to mine or cave for it, I could just farm it. So we're going to build an iron farm today, and it's not just any iron farm. This is going to be the combination iron and gold farm, and we're going to build it up top right there. You see a little platform right there. That is the height that we need to start at, or that's where the villager pockets are going to go, and we're going to carry that all the way around. But let me just show you what I've done with the villagers. This right here is an infinite villager breeder. It's the design by Tango Tech, and I am getting this done now before 1.8 rolls out. We're up to 39 in there. That's problematic. They slowly increase. Anyway, 1.8 is going to fix the bug that allows the infinite villager breeding. Or it doesn't fix the bug, it merely requires villagers to trade, or if they're farmers, to farm. So they didn't end up fixing the actual bug. They're just fixing a symptom or a side effect and adding a new side effect. But anyway, we need that infinite villager breeder to fill up the iron farm. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to build 3 of the villager pockets off camera, and then I'll get the villager movement going, or rather their pathway, and then I will come back and we'll build this one together, okay, and then we'll set the thing going, and then you'll see what I'm doing in it once I come back. But I need to get that started, and then I'll bring you back in. We'll do that next one. And then after we do that, we'll just wait for all the villagers to pop in, and then we'll finish up the rest of the farm. Okay, so I'm going to get started on filling out the villager pockets up top, and then we'll be back and I'll show you what I'm doing. All right, so I will see you in just a moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and as you can see, progress has been made. That's right. So you see we've got the lower platform here. If we go up here, run of the mill, you get 2 spawning platforms for the iron golems. So here's the upper one, and if we go a little further up, actually you can see the bottom portion of it. All that obsidian right there took me quite some time to collect, but there are the nether portals. Or, well, they're not lit yet, but we're well on the way. So the main structure is in place. We've got the drop chute there from the mob farm. So remember that dropper that we put in facing downward? That is right over the center of that thing. So it will drop the items from the mob farm once we get that comparator clock set up. It's not set up yet. But all of those will drop into the same spot the iron golems and zombie pigmen will collect. So one collection area to rule them all. But you know, I said we would build one of the villager pockets coming up next, and I've got all of them in place actually. So instead of building one, I'm just going to show you one. I left it open, and you may be wondering, what in the world are you talking about, Soap? It's just a room for the villagers to stay in, and you know, normally that would be the case. Like on my multiplayer series, that's what I've got. But here I wanted to do things a little different, so I've done some redstone. And this is going to be one of the villager pockets. You can see we've got a little bit of a contraption going here. Notice the pressure plate. That is a weighted pressure plate. It's the gold variety. And what it does is it puts out a signal in proportion to the number of entities on top of it. So it's a direct proportion, and it goes to a max of 15. So right now there would be a signal of 1 coming out of that comparator, but I've got it in subtraction mode, and I've got it comparing with a torch going into the side. So that torch is 15. That, I believe, is 15, and this is 14. The reason I believe so is because of my tests in a creative world. That setup gives me 15 villagers on top of this thing before I get a signal out of the comparator. And what's going to happen then, since we're comparing it to a 14, 1 signal strength will come out of the back end of this thing and go into that block, which powers a torch tower. And you can see that. Let me just skim over here. There we go. And we've got a sticky piston right there on the second torch, and that's currently off. So this sticky piston is retracted. It's got a piece of glass on it. And if you go up, you'll just have to take my word for it, unless I can jump. Hopefully not to my doom. You can see it right there. And that torch on that one is powering that block, which is also powering that piston. And since it's all powered, the piston is extended, and that is closing off a little pocket up top. And we can go take a look at that. So what this is going to do is it's going to give me 15 villagers before that top piston closes. You can't get on that one. Okay, we'll go up here. So the top piston will close, and then this one will open, and what we're going to have here and all around is a water source block, and that is going to fall into some signs. I believe you might be able to see it here. Let me just get rid of those vines. Yeah, you can see it right there. So what's going to happen is, you can see a little bit right there, my tower from the infinite villager spawner is right there. So when the villagers grow up, they come up that tower and they'll float along, There's the possibility that they will go slow around those corners, but we'll see how bad of a problem that is. And we'll just come along here, and everywhere you see signs, there's going to be a water source block there, and that will carry them along. So once we get 15 in here, the bottom piston will close, which will close off the pocket, and the top piston right here will open, and that'll let that water source block flow down, which will then continue the villagers on their way. So what we're going to have is an auto-filling system. So the reason I put this in is because I am worried a little bit about entities in a 1-by-1 area. I've had issues with that with my cows, where they'll sometimes escape, and I've definitely had issues with that with the zombie farm. So, just in case it affects the villagers, I want to make sure that I can refill the pocket pretty quickly and automatically, because it is a bit of a pain getting villagers up here. So, and getting them into the right spot, well, now we've got an automated way of doing that. So yeah, I think it's a pretty neat system, and hopefully it works. We will find out soon enough. Let's see, anything else I need to show you? Well, I hope that's it for now. Let me just show you one of the water canals. I don't have the water in yet. That's the next step. So this is just one of the sides, and we'll have little water going along here from this setup. So once that opens, and we'll have water coming along and carrying us on around. One more. Yeah, there was one more thing, and it's downstairs. So because we do have an infinite villager spawner, there's the possibility of a large number of extra villagers hanging around. And so we've got a little cactus to take care of any extras that after this one gets filled up. Kind of like what we've got right now, taking care of the babies that drop down because we're not ready for the villagers yet. But yeah, that's kind of cruel. Don't judge me. You know, I don't want to corrupt my world with hundreds upon hundreds of extra villagers hanging around. So next up, we need to get the villagers in place. So I need to close that off, make sure all of that's going, and then I need to get water in the water canals up top, and then we'll just let the villagers fill in, and I will bring you back once we're at that point, and we'll see where to go from that point on. Okay, so I will be right back in just a moment. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and you can probably tell based on the insane amount of noise that is going on around me that the villagers are in place. So let's just take a look here. We'll bring up the screen. You can see right here E16 over 457. Wow, that's a lot of entities. But we got a bunch of villagers hanging around, so we'll just need to watch that number a little bit. Might start getting laggy around my base. That might be the case, actually. Maybe we should get a new computer. But anyway, villagers are there, and we got, what, 15 there. Why does it do that? Catching entities from elsewhere. 15 there, and here's the last one. 15 there. I'm gonna just show you. See him? Isn't that cool? Hey, guy. Iron pickaxe. Well, you are only here so that we can get iron golems. Yep, that's it. So yeah, let me get rid of that. So the villagers are in place. Let's go up top side. Is there anything on this one? No. You can see I've done a little bit of rearranging though, because I am preparing for the next step, which is to light all the portals and fill in all the water all the way around on that platform and the one below, and we'll get these portals going. And I forgot to talk about that in the last segment, but these are the full 23 by 23 portals. Okay, so it's the max width and height for those, and then right here in the middle we've got 23 tall by 5 wide. I was about to say 3 wide, but it's 5. Internally it's 21 by 3. Internally for this one it's 21 by 1, or 21 by 21. That works out to somewhere around, I don't know, 4,200, something like that. You can do the math. It's 21 times 21 times 10. Oh, there's an overflow villager. It just sounds bad. 21 times 21 times 10 plus 21 times 3 times 2. So if you want to do the math on that, you can see how many portal blocks there are. But since we are running on hard, that means that every portal block, every game tick is going to have a 1 in 666 chance. And I know that's a terrible number, but it's the difficulty mode is 3, so it's 3 divided by 2,000, which is 1 over 666. So yeah, take that for what it's worth. Yeah, so we should be getting a decent amount of zombie pigmen dropping, and then hopefully the iron golems start dropping as well. But still need to finish up that portal. I need to move that ladder. We're gonna have to go around the outside, and I'll figure that out by the next jump cut, hopefully. And by that point we will also have the water streams in place to carry our mobs to the center here and down to a killing and collection platform, and then we'll have all the portals lit also. So hopefully we should have a working farm the next time I bring you back. So yeah, let me take care of that real quick, and I will bring you back in and we'll take a look at what's going on. Alright, back in a bit. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and as you can see from my surroundings here, we are above the portal room. Well, oh, there we go. Hello, piggies. And they are dropping down, getting collected. Great, great, great. Good stuff. Okay, so I'm up here just below the mob farm area. You can see our little dropper here, and it's still facing into that chest, but you can see we've got the drop chute there, and I'll eventually pull that hopper out, and we'll do a comparator clock and shoot all the items down through there. But that is not for now. That is going to be some off-camera work. I wanted to show you that I've pulled out that ladder, filled in that portal, and all of them are lit. We're going to go downstairs real quick, and I've had to come outside, come across the top here. You can see that there's the top of the farm, or top of the tower, and just by way of reminder, there, we're still doing that naming contest. So if you've got any suggestions for names for this thing, feel free to leave them in the comments below, or catch me on Twitter at MCSoapTheGreat, and I will make a note of those, and we'll put them on a little wall down in the current hidey hole base, and we'll see what we get to once it comes time for the storage area. But you can see some of what I've had to do to get around. I don't want to fall too fast. Alright, so here is the collection area, and this is a similar setup to what I've got on the multiplayer server. We've got tripwires and sticky pistons. There's no sorting system because, again, we're going to get to that later when we get a major storage room somewhere down there. I don't know where it's going to go, but for now we're just going to be collecting all of the mob drops in here, along with, oh, there we go. Thank you for providing an example. So in the multiplayer series, we've got a 20 by 20 iron farm, which gives us 18 by 18 total internal area, and that gives an even number. So our central collection area is actually a 2 by 2 drop chute. Okay, this one is 23 times 23, so 23 by 23 square, and that's an odd number. So our central area here is 3 by 3. So we've had to do a little bit extra work to make sure that these guys get caught. So an iron golem takes 2 times 2 times 3 spaces. So 2 wide, 2 long, or 2 deep, and 3 high. So there's a tripwire here in the front, and then a tripwire in the back. So we're guaranteed that the iron golem is going to hit one of the tripwires. And then there are sticky pistons on both sides, and those get triggered by the tripwire. So so no matter what, an iron golem is going to trip the tripwire, and one of these solid blocks is going to invade the iron golem's suffocation space. So we will be getting gold from the pigmen, and iron, and poppies, and zombie meat, but who cares about zombie meat? And who cares about poppies? So there we go. Just the way the hoppers are connected, they get not evenly spread. Most of them end up here, but yeah, that's our farm so far. And the main thing here was iron ingots. I do need to tell you a little bit though, and I forgot to mention this in the last drop or jump cut, but I had not put in the doors yet. I waited until all the villagers were in before I put in the doors, and the reason was that I didn't want the villagers starting to breed as soon as they got into their pockets. I wanted to kind of control that, but because I did that, what happened is that I put in the other side first, and for some reason it was close enough to the infinite villager spawner. I don't know why, but it connected with that one and formed a village, and so the iron golem spawning area was actually towards that side of the farm and then out a ways and down a ways, okay, because the center of the village, quote-unquote village, was a little below our area here. And then these doors, this set here and the set there on the far corner, formed a separate village. So we had one village over here and one over there. And the way I know that is because I loaded up Cabo PC's village marker mod. Very helpful. So if you're messing around with villages and you've got a single player world or a access to the server, you know, I would highly suggest getting that in case you're having some issues. It helped me debug the thing. It showed very clearly this was a purple village, that was a red village, and that was not good. So what I had to do is I removed the doors from the infinite villager spawner, and that sent that red village up to being centered over there. And then I removed all of these doors, both, you know, over here and over there, and then replaced them, and that got the village centered right over that hole, and it put the village, or the the iron golem spawning area right in the center there. So that's what we wanted. Now we've got this temporary dirt walkway going all the way around. Kind of crazy. You notice I missed something. I've got a little indicator light to see if the pocket is full. So if I can see up this far with my render distance, I should be able to look at a glance and see if there are villagers in the pockets. I forgot to do that there. But anyway, so village marker mod was very useful, and I will post a link to that in the description below, along with everything else for this farm: the infinite villager breeder, the William Goosen combination iron and gold farm design, and there might be a couple others that I'm forgetting at the moment, but that is it for now. We have gotten a lot done for this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed. You know, I do thank you for watching. I invite your comments, questions, and suggestions. If you have something to say about this, you see an improvement or something, you know, just let me know. I love hearing from you. And if you enjoyed this video, think about putting a thumbs up on it. It helps people find this and really helps me out. And if you really enjoyed, want to see more, think about subscribing. We do this every week, and I'd love to have you along. But thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.